Hello everyone, my name's Lorna and this is my channel, Threading Yarn. The warmest welcome to anyone who is new here and welcome back to anybody who's watched my channel before. I use this channel to talk about the things that I've made. That's normally sewing, knitting, natural dyeing and a bit of gardening and allotmenting. I've got something slightly different this episode because I've made something using a different craft than I would normally. I made, and my partner did as well, our own chair. So I had the best week doing that. It was just awesome. So I thought I'd show you a few videos and talk through a little bit of that. First time ever doing woodworking, but it was brilliant. And yeah, so there's a bit of that, a bit of some things that I have sewn recently, and some things I've finished knitting, some things I'm in the middle of knitting, and some yarn that I've dyed, including for this little kit, which is a sock pattern, the Fiorita sock pattern designed by lovely Marie Eve from In Her Skein, and some cute little stitch markers from Sorella at Where Meadows Grow. I've dyed up some yarn to go with these things, so I'll talk through those towards the end of the video, but yeah, it's just going to be a little update about the things that I've been making over the last few weeks. So like I always say, get comfy, grab a project, get whatever beverage you would like if you feel like that, and settle in for a cozy little update video. So I like to, I've realised, start these videos by doing a little kind of summary of what it feels like in the season at the moment, because I think it really affects what I'm doing. Because when it is hot and sunny, or when it's, you know, an intensive part of the growing year, I tend to spend more time outside doing outsidey crafts and focusing on my vegetable and natural dye garden. And it's been a very hot spring here in the west of the UK, and I think throughout the UK generally. It's been very, very dry. We have barely had any rain, although as I'm recording this now, I'm keeping one eye on the window there because we're forecast some thunderstorms. And I'm really hoping that we have some rain. Really hoping, because it has not rained here for months, I think, bar like tiny spattering maybe a month ago, and our water stores are running really low. We collect lots of water with water butts off the house and off the greenhouses, but it's, yeah, they're pretty much empty, which is very, very early for that. Normally that happens sort of mid-summer and into late summer. So it's been very dry. We don't tend to water things that much anyway, but it's the time of year where I'm starting off lots of seedlings all the time and things just need a bit more support. So I'm really hoping it rains. But the advantage of the sunny, dry weather has meant I've been going out for loads of walks and really enjoying seeing the natural world and my landscape, and feeling a lot more connected to that, which is really lovely. Plants are going like crazy. I've planted out a lot of dye plants over the last couple of weeks. We've passed our last predicted frost date now, so I feel a bit more comfortable that they're going to be okay. And the dye garden, I've got high hopes for this year. Hopefully we do have some actual rain at some point and things can carry on getting a bit stronger, but it's looking good. I think I did a bit of an update about my dye garden and my plans for it, I think maybe like a month or two ago, where I was sewing things. I've planted a lot of those things out now, and you can go back to that video if you want to see me talk a bit more about that. But I'm focusing on a lot of dye flowers this year, not so much indigo, although I do have some woad growing in my garden and my allotment. I've been trying to make it, like I've said before, make a bit of an effort to go on a walk at least once a week, just really enjoying connecting with my landscape and learning more about the history of it, and also noticing what's blooming at this time of year, what's blossoming, and what birds I can hear, and just kind of soaking that in as a sort of meditative practice in a way, and I've been really enjoying that. We did a big walk recently, saw some different long barrows in the area, which are sort of Neolithic burial mounds, which there are lots of throughout the UK. I'm very familiar with that kind of landscape. I grew up in Wiltshire, and there are lots of long barrows, and we always used to go to Avebury and West Kent Long Barrow, and they really sparked something in my imagination from a child, and I just have always loved going to places where I can feel slightly more connected to the people that have walked the landscape before us. Try to imagine the views that they saw, the things that were important to them, how they might have made things. I'd love to learn more about that. But yeah, so I've been doing a lot of reflecting about that kind of thing recently, and it's been nice because it has slowed the pace of my making down quite a bit, which is semi-intentional. I've also just kind of followed my energy about what felt right. It was semi-intentional because I didn't want to feel like I was just, we're all at, different stages of our making journeys, and I've been making my own clothes and things for quite a while now. And I'm at the point where I felt like I wanted to deepen that making rather than, keep making more stuff. I wanted to learn new mending techniques and improve the quality of things, that they last longer, learn more about the process of how those things are actually made. So I'm choosing like responsibly sourced and well made materials, and also deepen my understanding of other crafts. So I've been learning how to spin recently, which I've talked a bit about, and I'm doing that very sort of slowly, but enjoying it, and also learning new crafts. So I know that generally this podcast is about knitting and sewing and natural dyeing, so bear with me if you're just here for that and you do not want to hear about woodworking. But I'm going to talk about it because it's the thing I'm most excited about that I've done over the last couple of weeks, and then I'll get on to some sewing and knitting stuff. Months ago, we were walking through Westonbirt Arboretum, which is a beautiful arboretum, a collection, like a national collection of trees, which is I think it's in Wiltshire, Gloucestershire border, near Tetbury. And there's a bridge, like a skyline bridge, that you can walk along and look at the trees. And then we looked down as we were walking along it and saw this beautiful woodworking sort of area, workshop space, and saw a sign about chair making. And both Ben and my partner and I just love learning how to do things ourselves, how to sort of build up our different skills and understand the process about how things are made. So we booked ourselves on, and it was a bit of a treat, but it was our sort of main holiday, and we've just done it. So that was in the last week of April, and it's only 20 minutes away from here, but we camped in our van and it was crazy glorious sunshine the whole time, which was lovely. And we learned how to make a chair. So we made it entirely with hand tools, apart from one bit where we used a drill, but it was, so wonderful to be fully immersed in the making of one thing for a whole week. I do get quite sort of focused in how I'm making, and I think I'm kind of used to that sort of a feeling of being immersed in intensely in something, but I've never spent just one whole week on one thing from start to finish. We started with chunks of tree trunk and we finished with a chair, and we did, apart from the felling of the tree, the whole process all the way through, and all with hand tools, which I was really happy about for lots of reasons. Firstly, it slows it down, so I had a real chance to sort of understand the process and feel like I could replicate it at home. Secondly, it was much less intimidating than using really intense, machinery. I'm used to using various power tools and saws and things, but it's still less intimidating to slow things down and use hand tools, and also kind of reconnect a bit with the heritage craft that it is, and feel like if I didn't have access to power tools, that I could still make a beautiful, in my eyes, chair. And that felt really lovely. Also, I think, as with all handmade things, they just have a uniqueness to them and a quality that you get when everybody holds something differently or a slightly different approach with using their hand tool, and it just feels like a truly individual chair. And I loved learning how to use all of these like different axes and different hand tools properly. A lot of it was done on a lathe, which is a sort of machine where you're treadling, and then it's like a pole lathe, spinning your leg or chair stretcher around, and you're sort of chiseling it and into shape and smoothing it off into whatever design you want. And it was just, yeah, awesome. The team were absolutely wonderful. It's run by a guy called Paul at the moment, although he's retiring, and his team, Alex and Harry, were just absolutely fantastic. So I honestly can't recommend it enough. If you feel like a week of something totally immersive, doing something, yeah, very different, the team are amazing. You can make it as simple or as complicated as you like, and I chose to have a really nice week, not rushing as much as I could, and really start to understand the craft and not fuss too much about the details, which I feel like I succeeded in doing, and I'm really happy about that. I don't think I was too focused on trying to get things perfect, and I just had a great time as a result. And the team were just awesome, so I really recommend it. They are just so knowledgeable and creative and wonderful people, and had a really unforgettable, one of the best weeks I've ever had, to be honest. I should really be sat in it while presenting this, shouldn't I? I did sit in it while I was doing some sewing earlier today, so you'll see the chair. But it was just great to learn another skill, and I think we're going to end up building like a lathe in the garage. One day, if our dreams come true and we can, afford a bit of land with a workshop on, then I'm sure we'll have a woodworking studio next to a fibre one. So in terms of sewing, I have been very, very slowly making a bra. I talked about it a bit in one of my previous videos. I think it might be my April video. I'm making the Josie Bra by Made My Wardrobe, this pattern here. And I have just finished it, and I'm actually currently wearing it. And it's the first time I've made this bra, and I was really impressed. It's a lovely fit, it feels really comfortable. The instructions were really clear. I bought the paper version, but it came with a beautiful booklet inside, and even just the packaging and everything is gorgeous. It's making me think I should have another look at mine. I might feel my best, but it's gorgeous. I'm going to post a full length review of it and everything on my Patreon with a bit more detail, but I'll talk briefly about it today on this video. So I used a sort of mid-weight cotton jersey. It's a lovely sort of soft fabric and it feels very comfortable. It's maybe not hard wearing enough to be like a gardening bra, but for everyday comfort, I think I'm going to get loads of use out of it. I would be interested to try making it with a slightly more robust jersey or something with a bit more, a bit more thickness. I don't need tons of support, so it's fine for me, but I wonder if you would, want a heavier weight jersey if you needed a bit more support. The other option is you can add lace, and I feel like that would add quite a lot of strength as well. But I've just gone with fold over elastic and this mid-weight sort of cotton jersey fabric. Once I actually got into it, it was quite simple actually. The instructions are really good. Just took it step by step. I think lately I haven't felt so like getting into sewing because I've wanted to be outside, and my desk can either be like work or my sewing machine and not both because it's tiny, and it's felt like a bit of a faff. But today I just sat down and I did it, and I spent a couple of hours on it, I think 2 or 3 hours, and now I have a bra. That's really cool. So I will show you a little bit, some videos of it, of me wearing it. But before I do, it's just a thing to say, I never thought I would film myself in a bra on YouTube. So please keep comments respectful. I mean, it's basically a t-shirt anyway. It's got like a v-neck. It's got quite a long band. But yeah, just a little disclaimer. Sometimes I get odd comments, so please try to limit those. Most people are utterly delightful. Yeah, I'll show you it. So here it is. It's got this lovely crossback with a little ring, which feels very comfortable. And I've got this fold over elastic around the edge. I don't know what possessed me, but for some reason I decided to do contrasting top stitching. It did pretty much work out, but I really highlighted wherever my stitching went a bit awry. Don't know why I did that. But yeah, so you can see it's quite a soft jersey fabric, but it is very comfortable. And I've gone for quite a long band. It's not the full length one. It's sort of, I made my own sort of mid width, but it is very comfortable. And it fits really well. I just did it exactly as per the measurements in the pattern, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I'm actually thinking it would make a really nice bikini top. So I'm quite tempted to give that a go, but I'm sure there'll be plenty more of these in my future, because it is very comfortable, and I do like this sort of setup with the ring. It just goes under my shoulder blades nicely. I think maybe I would take out a little bit of fabric here, just as I'm noticing a bit of bunching, but not too much needed really. And the cup shape feels great. And there's a bit of elastic under here as well, but it's so comfy. Yeah, I really like it. But I'd be interested to know if you've made it, what you thought of it. I'd recommend it. Have a go. Experiment with different fabrics. It feels really nice to have made myself something that previously I've only ever bought. So I've made myself little crop top bras before, but never something as structured as this. Yeah, so that's the Josie Bra. But yeah, it'd be fun to learn if you've had a go making it, what you thought. I would definitely make it again. I thought the instructions were really good. The fit works well for me. I mean, I might have just lucked out on the proportions being right, so good to learn a bit about how it works for other bodies as well. So do share your feedback here. Or if you've done the lace version, it'd be fun to know how that went. I definitely want to have a go trying some other fabrics, but I think I'll get a lot of use and wear out of this. It feels really comfortable. I'll give the pants a go next. But very nice to have a handmade bra, because I hate buying bras and I hate wearing them most of the time. So this feels incredibly comfortable, and I'm quite an active person, so we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know how it holds up. But that's the only sewing I've done. I've shown you before in another video, but I've got this linen, striped linen. It's called Northern Blues, I think, by Metro Mills. And the next thing up on my list is to make a pair of elasticated ninny culottes with this linen, because I've been wearing my black linen ones a ton, and I really needed a second pair. Other than that, I'm slowly chipping away at the Modern Sewing Company's worker trousers, and I'm doing little filmed updates as I go with that for Patreon, step by step. The next step for me is pockets, I think, and that's something I'm going to film in the next couple of days. So if you're on Patreon and you're wondering when the next instalment is, that should hopefully be Wednesday time. Yeah, that's sewing. In terms of knitting, I have cast on this Feels Right tee. Oh, I can't remember the design now, but it just looks like a really good basic everyday knitted t-shirt, which is really what I want. I want more knitted summer tops. I find that wearing wool in the summer is just really comfortable for me. Sorry, I'm holding it on screen, am I? And I just really, I think wool's very intelligent and knows when you need to cool down and when you need to warm up, and it's just very breathable. And I just, yeah, I really like wearing wool in summer. So I want some more basic tops to wear with sort of linen skirts and trousers, and I thought I'd cast this on. I think Marlene Knits had done a version that I really liked the look of, and that kind of swayed me actually. This is in some of my naturally dyed yarn. I'm slowly working on a collection which I'm calling Dark Summer, which is inspired by sort of herbs and apothecary plants, and it's going to be ready in July, ready for the July wart moon, which is the herb moon. Very inspired by sort of dark witchy colorways and the herbs that are in my garden. So this is Myrtle, a colorway I've done before. It's a sort of grey and dusky lilac base with dark green and rust and sort of grey black speckles on it, and I thought I should probably do a little sample of the yarn. I think I've only done sample socks before, so I think it's gonna, I've just started the back and then I picked up the shoulders and I'm just starting the front now. So you can't, and it's all bunched up on these needles, so you can't really tell, but if I show you this, it's a bit more of the colour, but I think it's going to be a nice colour. I don't normally go for sort of greys on me, but it does have the sort of brightness of the lilac through it, and also the olivey green. There you go. And I really am enjoying the effect. I think that'll make such a cute little top to wear with, I'm especially imagining wearing it with ninny culottes and like wide leg elasticated trousers. And I think it's a great use of little sock skeins. I'm wondering whether to carry on in the same or to use like a different colour and sort of do a gradient out for the bottom half, show off two different colours, and yeah, what do you think? I've got the yarn to do either. I've got this very similar skein. It's got a bit more purple in it and less grey. Don't know if that's helping at all. I could grade it out with this. That's probably incredibly hard to visualise. Or I could just stick and do the same one and maybe do a separate little top in this. But I've got quite a few of these that I'm dyeing up at the moment. This is a brand new colourway that I'm doing for my Dark Summer. I'm having lots of fun designing those and knitting on this. This is quite nice and simple. I don't know if any of you have knitted this before, but it's got German short rows and picked up shoulders, but other than that seems fairly straightforward. I'm using these cute little stitch markers by Where Meadows Grow as well. She kindly gave me these ones when I did my big order for the sock sets, and they're really sweet and useful and gorgeous. So I'm enjoying this a lot. And in terms of knitting that I finished, it is, I showed you a bit earlier, but this sock is the Fiorita sock by In Her Skein, and this is my little sample for the sock kits that we're doing. So I'll talk to you a little bit about that, but it is not the best light at the moment. I'll put some pictures up as well. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous sock pattern. I just think she's so creative. It's got this lovely, like, sort of double picot cuff, which is so soft and just absolutely gorgeous. I keep thinking it would make a lovely, like, cardigan cuff. Oh, yes. But also makes a gorgeous sock cuff, of course. And it just gives it a really luxurious finish. And then it's got this Estonian inlay technique over the top, with this gorgeous like floral and foliage pattern on the front of the sock, which I hadn't done before, but it was really like surprisingly simple for the effect it has. And Marie's got a really helpful video as well. So super cute little spring sock, gorgeous. So I've dyed up some yarn kits to go with it, and then on Wednesday, what date is Wednesday? Wednesday the 14th of May, so 3 days from when I'm now filming, I will be releasing these sock kits, and you can buy them on their own or as a kit with Marie's pattern, and also with the beautiful stitch markers from Where Meadows Grow. So these guys are beautiful little pressed in wildflowers, and then Sorella has painted the backgrounds and some of the detail around them as well. You can see that. They are just so beautiful, and it comes on this little card with seeds in it, so you can plant the seeds, the card straight in. How sweet. Yeah, so that's going to be a little kit, little yarny kit, and that'll be in my shop on Wednesday and at 5 p.m. UK time on Wednesday. I think there are about 30 kits and then a few extras on their own. It's about that. It's always hard to know how these things go. Sometimes things sell out really, really quickly, and sometimes they don't. But I would just say I will put them up at 5 on Wednesday, and if you're super keen, then that's the time to be online. But if you want to avoid any of that sort of feeling, then I'm hoping that I've done a few extra this time, so that will help with that. I took you through the yarn colourways as well. So if I start with this one, this is Meadowsweet, and it's the one that Marie Eve used for her sample pair. Exactly the same dye lot, batch, everything as Marie had. I don't know if I'll put some pictures up in case the light's not great right now because it's after 5. But this is a very soft pale pink as the main sock colour, and then this is a sort of dusky reddy rust colour as the contrast. All of my Corriedale sock yarn, which is 100% plastic free sock yarn. Yeah, I think these are sort of pretty socks, not necessarily constant everyday use socks, but if you I've chosen Corriedale because it is a tough fleece naturally and good for plastic free socks. But something I've also been doing lately is holding either a little bit more Corriedale or a silk thread or something double on the heel, just helps them last a little bit longer. Just a little tip from me to you. That's Meadowsweet. And then this is the colourway Bethany, which is a sort of dusky purple taupey mushroom base with a green on top. And that is what I have used, exactly the same dye lot that I have used for my sample. So I've chosen a lot of the names from the plants that I know that grow around here, but also from this little wildflowers book. So I've had quite a bit of fun with the colourways and choosing them. So this one is called Bog Bean. Bog Bean is a sort of dusky, it did actually start off as a very light pink base, and then I've bundle dyed it and it's gotten a bit murkier. So it does have the sort of brightness of the pink, but it's got mostly sort of olivey colours and dark greys and a little bit of a bit of a brighter green as well in patches. And then the contrast is this dusky sort of mid purple. That's Bog Bean. This one is Toad Flax. It's a sort of soft, warm yellow, and then the contrast is this slightly off-white with speckled green, yellow, and blues. And the last two, this one is Foxglove. It is a sort of sagey green and a dusky pink contrast. And this one is Aster, and this is a sort of peachy pink base and the same contrast actually as Toad Flax. It's this sort of off-white with bits of grey and blue, yellow and green with it. So that's the colours, and I can gather them all up. Here they all are. And they're all naturally dyed, a lot of them from plants I've grown, and I think all those lovely soft colours are just the perfect, where's my sock? are the perfect pairing to go with this gorgeous, gorgeous sock design. And I feel super grateful to have worked with such lovely other makers like Sorella as well, from Where Meadows Grow. They just make a lovely trio of gorgeousness. And it feels really nice to have worked with other creative women to come together to create this beautiful little set together. It's been the first time I've done that, and I've really enjoyed the experience, and I'm sure I'll work with them both again. So that's the stuff I've been dyeing, and yeah, that goes up in my shop on Wednesday the 14th of May at 5 PM UK time. Oh, there's some rain! Yay! Good. I hope you have some rain where you are if you need it. So that's everything today, and I hope you enjoyed this little update. I've got some clips as well of some walks I've been on recently, so I'm going to pop some music on and let some of those clips play if you'd like to sit back and carry on knitting and watch that, or crafting, relaxing, whatever you're doing. But thank you so much for joining me. I'll do another sort of bigger update soon for May, and show you a bit more of my plot as well. I also got good feedback from you about that little video I did where I took you on a walk. There was less talking, and I did a bit of crafting outside, so I'm definitely planning to do another one of those again soon. Thank you for joining, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the spring if you're in the northern hemisphere, or also moving into winter if you're in the southern part of the globe. And I'll catch up with you soon. Wishing you some rain if you need it.